This is Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines. I'm Pia Ontiveros. Tonight on the program, the Philippines is in the spotlight as the International Criminal Court looks into President Rodrigo Duterte's war against drugs. As the government mulls over importing rice, consumers and retailers are taking the hit of a potential shortage. And it's not a bird or a plane fly away at the Hot Air Balloon Festival. We begin with the International Criminal Court, or ICC, taking its first step in what could be a full-blown investigation into the Duterte administration's war on drugs. The International Court is starting with a preliminary examination on the killings. Malacanang is quick to say the investigation will not go anywhere. And if necessary, it says President Duterte is willing to argue his case before the ICC. Our senior correspondent Ina Andalong has that story.
With the International Criminal Court's move to start its preliminary examination on the Duterte drug war. The president's spokesman stresses it's just a preliminary examination, not an investigation.
So if they think they have indicted the president, that's so wrong. They wish.
Presidential spokesman Harry Roque is referring to those behind the communication which prompted the ICC examination. Senator Antonio Trillanes, who is among those who sent the communication to the ICC, welcomes the development, saying it should jolt the president to realize that even he is not above the law. Another signatory to the communication, Attorney Jude Sabio, who lawyers for Edgar Matobato, a self-confessed hitman who claims to have been part of the so-called Davao death squad which the president denies ever existed. Sabio says he's confident the examination will eventually lead to the issuance of an arrest warrant against the president and his cohorts.
The president has said that he also welcomes this preliminary examination because he's sick and tired of being accused of the commission of crimes against humanity. This is an opportunity for him to prove that this is not subject to the court's jurisdiction.
But what exactly is an ICC preliminary examination? First, it means a prosecutor is collecting and verifying data to determine if they have jurisdiction over the matter. Next, they are determining if there is sufficient basis for a proper investigation. Roque says the president is even willing to personally appear and argue at the ICC if necessary, but they are confident it won't even reach that stage. Malacanang doubts if the examination will elevate to a preliminary investigation. Why? First, Roque says ICC will realize that it has no jurisdiction over the case. He explains the ICC can only claim jurisdiction over the matter if local courts are deemed unable to prosecute the same. Roque says this is not the case in the country, with the ombudsman, for instance, already investigating killings in relation to the drug war. Second, Roque says there's a lack of merit. The communication accuses the president of committing a crime against humanity, which Roque says would mean that the drug war is an attack to the civilian population. Not the case, Roque says.
The war against drug is a lawful, legitimate police operation. It cannot be characterized as an attack against civilian populations because they are civilians. No? It is a lawful use of force, and therefore we submit likewise that on the merits, the element of directing an attack against civilian populations is simply lacking.
For now, the administration sees no need to form a team to handle the matter, but Malacanang has made it clear the president could be part of it.
He wants to be in court and put the prosecutor on the stand to ask who prodded you to proceed to preliminary examination, because it is the suspicion of the president that it is, of course, the domestic enemies of the state behind this.
Ina Andalong, CNN Philippines.
But what is the International Criminal Court and how does it work? The ICC describes itself as an international tribunal based in The Hague, in the Netherlands. The ICC has jurisdiction over crimes against humanity, such as genocide and war crimes. Created by a treaty, it began in 1998, and to date, there have been 25 cases lodged before the court, with its judges issuing 31 arrest warrants. It complements the work of national courts. Consumers and retailers agree on the importance of increasing the stock of NFA rice at the soonest possible time. Trisha Terada tells us why.
Cindy Guevara has been feeding her family NFA rice for 15 years now. She says the government-subsidized rice is a big help.
Parehas din naman eh. Yung sustansya niya sa mahal, parehas din naman na bigas eh. Kasi mga anak ko yun din ang pero hindi naman sila nagkakasakit.
Currently, NFA regular milled rice sells at 27 pesos per kilo, while well-milled rice is at 32 pesos per kilo. Still more affordable compared to commercial rice with prices ranging from 39 to 60 pesos per kilo. This is why she is worried about the looming shortage in NFA rice supply.
Yun lang po yung kaya namin bilhin. Imbis na ibibili mo na ng ulam, syempre napunta pa sa bigas. Nabawasan patuloy ng budget.
Cindy considers herself lucky to chance upon some NFA rice in Kamuning Market, but the store owner says her current supply is quickly running out and can no longer last a week. She sells about 5 to 7 sacks of NFA rice per day.
Mas mabili siya ngayon kasi alam nila pawala na. Ganun naman ang public eh. Pag pawala na, talagang bili sila ng bili. Pero pag alam nilang mayroon pang coming soon, relax lang sila.
Last time she was able to get NFA rice stocks was on the 3rd week of January. The reason behind the delay of delivery is still unclear to them. Many stores like this one in Nakakagulat Market has already run out of NFA rice. Since February kicked in, they have been unable to get their usual supply. Mang Ramon has been selling rice for 30 years now, and he too is feeling the impact of the low NFA rice supply. With nothing but commercial rice in the market, NFA rice retailers say consumers are left with little choice.
Pero kung may pong NFA rice, walang di po tataas ang commercial rice. Sa kadahilan po, ang NFA rice po ay mura. At siya pong binibili ng mga mahirap. Yung commercial po, siyempre, tataas yan.
Kasi paubos na yung NFA, lalo na pag wala ng NFA. Sigurado tataas yung commercial. Kasi wala silang choice. Kundi commercial na lang ang bibilihin nila.
At this point, only one thing is certain. Both consumers and retailers want NFA rice back soon. Trisha Terada, CNN Philippines.
We appreciate all your online comments on our top stories. Keep them coming through our social media pages at CNN Philippines. We're also live right now on Facebook. Presidential spokesman Harry Roque says the Philippines will eventually benefit from China's artificial islands in the disputed territory in the West Philippine Sea. Roque made this statement during an interview with blogger Franco Mabanta. The video can be viewed on Roque's Facebook page.
There will come a time when China's might had ceased, when we will have to thank them for the islands, because since it is only the Philippines that can legally build those artificial islands, ergo, they had no right to build those artificial islands in the first place. Clearly, eventually, the artificial islands will be ours.
Roque made the remarks amid criticisms. The government seems to be doing nothing with the Chinese installations in the disputed territory. Maritime expert Jay Batongbakal says, quote, government leadership doesn't really put a lot of thinking into the South China Sea issues and would rather engage in fantasy than national security, unquote. Security expert Jose Custodio shares the same sentiment and warns of its possible implications on other claimant countries in the South China Sea.
Our country might be seen by other countries in the region as a security threat already because we're allowing China to militarize the entire area without doing anything.
More local news later on the show, but first here are the top stories from around the world. Rescue operations continue in Taiwan as emergency teams pick through the wreckage of a magnitude 6.4 earthquake. The deadly quake rocked the city of Hualien before midnight Tuesday, leaving at least 9 people dead and over 200 injured. 8 people are still missing, all of whom are believed trapped in damaged buildings. Officials say 4 buildings in the city were either tilting or had collapsed. An information officer from the Manila Economic and Cultural Office in Taiwan said the missing Filipina caretaker living in the area still has not been found. North Korea stages a highly anticipated military parade on the eve of the 2018 Winter Olympic Games in South Korea. Tanks and trucks carrying troops rolled down the streets of Pyongyang. South Korean news agency Yonhap reported around 13,000 soldiers participated in the military display and as many as 50,000 people watched the event. The parade was held around the same time that hundreds of North Koreans who are in the South for the Olympics attended a welcoming ceremony in Pyeongchang. The Eiffel Tower was closed to tourists as heavy snowfall left Paris at a standstill Wednesday. The biggest recorded snowfall in more than 30 years blanketed the city of lights in white. It caused chaos on roadways across Paris with a record 700 kilometers of traffic jams. Bus and rail services were also shut down. Emergency shelters opened throughout the city for stranded commuters. The snowfall comes just days after the French capital was hit by heavy flooding. President Duterte makes a promise to labor groups to sign an executive order banning illegal forms of contractualization by next month. That, plus a look at a sky full of hot air balloons as the much-awaited festival in Pampanga kicks off. Those stories and more here in Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines. Welcome to Facebook Live here on CNN Philippines Newsnight. Let's do a recap first of the ICC story. The International Criminal Court now doing what we call a preliminary examination, looking into charges that were brought before it against President Duterte and several other government officials for the administration's war on drugs. Malacanang saying, Harry Roque, presidential spokesperson, saying that this isn't going to amount to much, but that there is a possibility the president himself could argue his own case before the court. At the same time, many reactions to this latest development. In the meantime, I'd like to say hello to some viewers. Bernie Milano in Cavite, Ferdy Caneja in Italy, Inday Ranoa in New Jersey, Sarah Buyakaw in Taiwan, Edgar Madriquez in Davao. Thank you for being with us. Tell us what you think of our stories. Comment down below or tweet us. Just tag us at CNN Philippines. We hope to hear from you soonest. This is Newsnight on CNN Philippines. President Rodrigo Duterte plans to sign an executive order banning illegal forms of contractualization by March. Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello says the president made the promise after meeting with officials of various labor groups in Malacanang yesterday. He describes the meeting between the president and labor unions as good.
Maganda yung dala ko, pero sabi ng ating Pangulo, pag-aralan niya muna, pag-aralan namin dalawa bago niya pipirmahan. So, pinangako naman yan, by March, lalagdan niya yung executive order that we presented. Maganda pag-usap nila kahapon. Nandun si Congressman Mendoza, nandun lahat ng union, for the first time, nagsama lahat ng union. Yung kaliwa, yung kanan, at saka yung sentro.
But labor leaders have a different view. For them, it was another meeting that ended in dismay. Their issue, the president, they said, failed again to sign a draft executive order banning contractualization.
He was gravely concerned that foreign investors might pull out should they not understand that this is a needed national policy.
A ban on contractualization, or ENDO, is one of Duterte's campaign promises. Contractualization happens when workers are repeatedly hired on 5-month contracts that fall short of regularization. Now, moving on to other news, a body believed to be that of a Filipina was found in an apartment in Al Shaab area in Kuwait. In a report by the Arab Times, authorities say the body of the housemaid may have been kept in a freezer for over a year. Preliminary investigation showed the housemaid's Lebanese sponsor was wanted for cases related to falsified checks. It adds there were traces on the body indicating death by strangulation and torture. AXO-FW party list representative John Bertiz confirms the body is now with the police for forensics for forensic examination and an autopsy. Bertiz is calling for a total ban on worker deployment to Kuwait. In January, the Labor Department suspended the deployment of OFWs to Kuwait in the wake of reports of abuse and deaths. In a media briefing this morning, presidential spokesman Harry Roque said the president has plans to visit Kuwait. Tonight, we're putting newsmakers on the record to discuss the sending of Filipino workers abroad. I'll sit down with Kabayan Party List Representative Ron Salo, POEA Deputy Administrator Joyce Sanchez, Blas Ople Policy Center Executive Director Jerome Alcantara, and Labor Group Leader Shirley Yoron. Catch On the Record tonight at 7. Many consumers are turning to commercial rice as the National Food Authority stock is running low, and that's why the agency wants to import 250,000 metric tons of rice. President Duterte explains why he supports the move. Here's the president in his own words.
Ang inyong mga uma o katong nag-uma giparentahan pod og dili gibaligya. So karon mismo sa bugas natong ginakaon kuwang na. Ug dili ta mag-import sa Vietnam, Thailand, Laos, gutom ang abuto nato. Mo na'y problema diha. Nakaroon ka na gitanom diyang mga pineapple o kanang mga banana, saging. Dili na para konsumos Pilipino. Ang gihatag sa inyo, di ba? Mga reject des palengke. Mo na'y atong gikaon. Ang katong gwapong produkto ginabaligya sa gawas. Sa mga korporasyon nga naay kwarta. Nga mo pundo para mo buldos og bukid magtanom diha. Ngaron, unsa may reklamo nato?
The president was speaking before hundreds of former rebels he welcomed in Malacanang yesterday. Telecommunications company PLDT will no longer ask for payment for its surrendered 3G frequencies in 2011 so that a third telco player can come in. That's according to Information and Communications Technology Officer in Charge Eliseo Rio. In a Facebook post, the DICT chief said he spoke with PLDT Chair Manny Pangilinan regarding the matter. The move comes after President Duterte threatened to place telcos under a tax audit for seeking compensation for return frequencies. The DICT plans to reassign the frequencies to the third telco player. Malacanang welcomes PLDT's move, saying it will facilitate the entry of a new major player in the telco industry.
President said that he is thankful for PLDT's cooperation dahil naintindihan naman ng Pangulo at malinaw sa Pangulo na itong pagkakaroon ng third telecom carrier ay makikinabang ang buong bayan. So nagpasalamat po ang Pangulo dyan.
In other news, online real estate portal Lamudi says Filipinos spent over 2.5 million hours looking for property on the internet last year. What properties are Filipinos looking for, and what cities are they moving to? Claire Yao has that story.
For most Filipinos, the dream property is still a house and lot. Property website Lamudi compiled data from almost 15 million user visits in 2017. Nearly 60% of Filipinos searched for houses when they looked for property online. Condominiums were a far second at only 14%. Home buyers are even willing to shell out money for their dream house. Half of Filipinos look for property worth 5 million pesos and below. 1/3 of them can spend as much as 20 million pesos. And of course, when it comes to property, as they say, it's all about location, location, location. Quezon City, the largest city in Metro Manila, is still the top choice. At second place is Makati, the country's central business district. However, major cities across Visayas and Mindanao are emerging favorites among Filipinos. There is another trend Lamudi has noticed among its users. Millennials now make up half of the country's workforce. How they're investing their money is different. Instead of house and lots, they're looking for smaller but more convenient places.
But what's happening with a lot more millennials getting into the picture is condominiums are increasing as well, right? They want things smaller, closer to their workplace. Maybe not for large families, maybe for nuclear families. You know, newly married couples are looking for much smaller homes.
Millennials are also willing to invest, but payment terms are important. They have smaller incomes and need longer periods of time to pay.
I think the concept of rent to own is something that the millennials really like. You know, they want to replace their monthly rentals with mortgage values maybe, and at the end of a particular term end up owning the place that they're living at.
While Filipinos still want to see a property up close and in person, Lamudi says more and more people are doing what they call property window shopping online. Since its beginnings in 2014, Lamudi's user traffic has grown 5 times, making it the country's most visited property website.
That's what the internet has gotten to everybody, the ease of sitting at home and clicking a few buttons to figure everything out. You don't need to walk into a mall anymore for anything. Nobody's really going to a mall to really look and understand, right? They do all of that online these days.
Lamudi expects to grow even further this year, expanding into data, analytics, research, and events. Claire Yao, CNN Philippines.
The weekend of everything that flies kicks off in Pampanga. You're still watching Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines. Welcome back to Facebook Live here on CNN Philippines Newsnight. President Duterte meeting with labor groups late yesterday. The story that came out of that meeting was that he's made promises to look into their appeals to end ENDO or contractualization, but labor groups singing a different tune, or at least some of them. In the meantime, in the next segment of the show, this story for you: the Hot Air Balloon Festival in Pampanga, one of the most popular events that happen in that province. In the meantime, I'd like to say hello to some of our viewers: Ramil Wahini, who's in the United Kingdom, Sonny Reyes in the US, Mark Anthony Sales in Taguig, Rodmar Ponce in Spain, and Marie Villapaz in Kuwait. Thank you for being with us tonight. This is Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines. Welcome back. Westlife fans, get ready for some nostalgia. The boy band's former lead singer, Shane Filan, is ready to make Filipinos swoon. Filan is back in the country to promote his new album, Love Always. He will spread the love ahead of Valentine's Day in a series of mall shows from February 9th to the 14th. The singer is second time to perform in the country as a solo artist. His first show was in 2014. Speaking to CNN Philippines, the 38-year-old artist shares what fans can expect from his album and what he loves about the country.
The fans, they're absolutely crazy. They're always extra excited when I come in to the country, and I have a lot of good memories here. I have nothing but good memories coming to here. And the fans are incredible. They're always so supportive. They have like fan clubs, and they always come, and they're big crowds, and they just get extra excited, which is, as a singer, you just want to have support and love for your music, and I have plenty of it here, which is nice. My album is Love Always. It's called Love Always because it's a love songs album. It's mainly kind of classic cover songs that I've kind of loved throughout my life. So it's like my kind of back catalogue of favourite artists or favourite singers. And I wanted to do this album for a long time. I wanted to, as a singer, all I want to do is sing great songs. And doing a covers album or doing a themed album is something I thought would be interesting, and it's really got a really positive reaction, so I'm really excited about it.
Filan says he's looking forward to returning to the Philippines to visit tourist destinations. Now, speaking of tourist destinations, it's going to be a weekend of everything that flies in Pampanga as the Hot Air Balloon Fiesta kicks off today. 26 colorful hot air balloons from all around the world open the 4-day event. They come in all shapes and sizes. Aside from the hot air balloons, the highlight of this year's festival is the paragliding wing walkers from England. There are two ladies doing gymnastics while standing and walking on a plane's wings in mid-air. Festival head Captain Joy Roa says organizers have added more aerial and ground activities this year, such as the airplanes and jets show, helicopters, and paragliding, among others. Roa expects at least 140,000 tourists to attend the festival over the weekend. From physical healing to rising up from a tragic loss, we've witnessed how Boholanos recovered from natural disasters. In this report, we'll see how ready they are to once again share their homeland's treasures with the world. Let's watch this.
Mayong buntag kaninyong tanan, kini ang inyong makita sa St. Peter Church. It was built at 1602, mao ni ang pinakaduhang oldest church in Bohol. Unya makita nato ang hinungdan niini mao ang paglinog ug makita ninyo ang mga tawo nga nagbuhat for rehabilitation.
Hugmo si Mahal, sir.
On October 15, 2013, Boholanos were shocked in broad daylight by a magnitude 7.2 earthquake that damaged several historical churches and major infrastructure in the province.
Parang ghost town, wala na kaming makikita na magandang tanawin dito sa lubok.
But years after, Bohol was able to rise from that tragedy. Damaged roads were rehabilitated, houses were rebuilt with stronger foundation, and centuries-old churches were reconstructed from the rubble. But for some of these historical landmarks, like the Santa Cruz Parish Church in Maribojoc and Our Lady of Light Church in Loon, which totally collapsed, it will take time before they can be brought back to their original form.
We are here at Our Lady of Light Parish in Loon, Bohol, and this is one of the churches that was declared totally damaged. And as you can see right now, we are trying to reconstruct the church through the help of the government, and we hope and pray that this project would end in 2 years' time.
Meanwhile, parishioners celebrate Mass in a makeshift church beside the ruined site. But despite tragedies faced long ago, the province of Bohol has come a long way in rebuilding what was lost and strengthening its people. Its new slogan, Behold Bohol, has helped strengthen the province's position as a prime eco-cultural tourist destination.
It's very interesting because Bohol has everything that you want to see in a tourist destination. It is a unique island with diverse attractions. So we said, Behold Bohol. Behold Bohol can be behold the taste, behold the friendly people, behold the chocolate hills, behold the beaches, behold the dive sites, behold the relics of the past and the heritage. Everything that you see in Bohol is something to behold.
Tourist arrivals in Bohol have even increased by 156% after the earthquake struck. And with the construction of a new Panglao International Airport, Bohol expects more tourists, both local and foreign.
So with our international airport, we are very excited to open our doors to our ASEAN neighbors. So a lot of excitement is going on in Bohol, not only in tourism, but in trade, in commerce, in mutual exchanges of culture and education. These are opening the frontiers of Bohol's development. So for a visitor who comes to the province of Bohol, just enjoy.
From a disaster, Bohol has transformed into a major player in tourism. Beyond stories of resilience, Bohol holds a treasure trove of stories and adventure waiting to be discovered.
Bohol is a lovely place. I like it. Oh, Bohol is really good.
All people come to Bohol.
Eco-cultural tourism. More fun in the Philippines.
And when Rediscover Paradise returns tomorrow, we visit a place named Best Island in the World. And what makes it a go-to destination, not only for adventurers, but also for those who want to know more about our culture and heritage. Tonight, we're putting newsmakers on the record to discuss the sending of Filipino workers abroad and the protection given them. I'll sit down with Kabayan Party List Representative Ron Salo, POEA Deputy Administrator Joy Sanchez, Blas Ocle Policy Center Executive Director Jerome Alcantara, and Labor Group Leader Shirley Yorong. Join the conversation at 7 p.m. only here on CNN Philippines. Well, that's it for now. See you again at 7 or at the top of the hour. I'm Pia Ontiveros.